All right, so we got the traps, right? So we have upper traps, middle traps, middle traps, and then lower traps, right? And so when it comes to the upper traps, what I like to do when I'm working on them, because upper traps go all the way up into the neck, and then you got some of the neck muscles underneath them, but we're just gonna focus on the upper right now. So what I like to do with the upper is I like to take the arm, I like to bring it all the way up like this because it's gonna shorten, right? So it's gonna create more of a pocket for us to push into, okay? And so we bring the arm up like this here, right? Make sure it's nice and noodly and relaxed, right? And this is nice and relaxed here, right? We don't want it to be tense, right? And so there's a couple ways that I like to work on the upper traps, right? I like to go along the ridge, right? And the trap is like a wave, right? So it actually rolls over like a wave. Same with the lat, right? So it rolls over, and you can grab it. So I'll take my, my fingers and my thumb like this here, right? And I'll grab it, and what I'm doing is I'm unrolling it, right? So if you imagine how a wave comes over like this, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring it back like that, right? So I've got the front of the wave hooked with my fingers, right? And obviously the back of the wave. And as I go up, my fingers aren't really moving very much right now, okay? My thumb is doing a lot of the movement. I'm just kind of holding with my fingers, right? Kind of pulling and hooking that wave or whatever, you want to call it when it comes over. But, yeah, so, and we can go through this. We'll go through this a few times, okay? Like this, and you'll see the little releases as we go through, and if we pinch it too high though, right, that's a really sensitive spot. So I try to stay away from grabbing it up there too much, right? And you can get all the way, so right here is going to be the line of the upper and lower middle trap, right? And so you can grab it all the way down on that lower trap there, right? So this is for kind of like the meat of it, right?
That feels good, bro.
That feels good? Yeah. If I come up a little bit higher, does that hurt a little bit more?
Yeah, a little more.
A little more. It's okay if it doesn't. You don't have to, But sometimes it's a little bit more sensitive on people the higher we go up on it,
Feels good on me.
Feels good though?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and I can't say, okay, let's do this for 10 minutes, let's do this for 5 minutes. I don't really have a set time that I do things anymore, or I don't really pay attention to the clock. I just kind of go through it, and when my intuition tells me that I'm done with it, then I'm done with it. If I see it release enough, because sometimes I'll be working on people and the muscle just won't release, right? But as I've been working on his upper trap, it's been releasing. Every pass that I've gone through, I've seen it release and I've seen it relax, right? So intuitively, it's just I don't even have to think about it. My brain sees it releasing, and I know that I can move on, and I know that I don't have to spend too much time on this muscle here, right? And so I'll go through it a few times, we'll go through it, And like I said, my thumb is doing most of the movement right now. My fingers is kind of hooking it, right? Hooking it and kind of holding it and kind of pivoting, right? And I don't know if you can see, but we're getting little twitches and little muscle releases right through there.
Pretty locked up in there today too, bro.
Pretty locked up in there? Yeah. So this is the one technique that I like to use, right? And so we're gonna go into more getting up into the base of the skull where the trap's attached, right? So the other technique I like to do is I like to take my fingers like this, right? And I'll pass through like this here, right? So we'll come through and push into the pocket, right? Because there's a pocket right here. See, look at how far that goes in, right? If we push in right here, right, it doesn't go in very far. If we push in right here, it doesn't go in very far, right? So there's understanding there is a little pocket here, there is a little pocket here, but how can we create bigger pockets in order for us to push and compress the muscles and stretch them into, right? And so with the upper trap, why I brought the arm up is that creates a big pocket right here, right? So now we have all this relaxed tissue to push into. And then what I like to do is I like to push on the top of it, okay? So now I'm pushing on the top of the trap. I'm following the line across, right? And you'll see it jump, right? So right there, right, you'll see it jump off, right? And so we don't want to sit here and we don't want to jump like that on the muscle, like that. Like that, to me, isn't, I don't know, it's just not my technique. And I shouldn't say that we don't want to do that. That's just not what I do. This is how I do it here. If you are someone that likes to do the jumping technique and do the cross friction fiber stuff, and that's, and it works and your clients like it, then that's what matters the most, right? So, but with what I like to do is the jumping to me, what the jumping means is it helps me locate the muscle, all right? It helps me just know where it's at, the edge of it, right? So when it jumps, I'm like, okay, there's the edge of it, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow it up all the way to the base of the skull, right? And yeah, his neck is really tight today, because normally I'll see some pretty good releases out of the base of the skull right here. I'll see it jumping and twitching, you know? But yeah, right now, his neck and trap muscle up here is really tight. See, so there was a little one there. You know, and if you know anatomy, and if you can see, I can see the muscle here, right? You know, people look at the body and they don't see the muscle, right? I see the muscle, I see the way it goes. You know, this muscle is here like this, right? So what I'm doing as I'm pushing on it, right? If I jump on it, I'm trying to find this edge of it and follow the edge all the way up, right? And if I jump off of it, boom, right? I'm not gonna sit there and try and jump over it and over and over, right? I'm gonna find the edge of it and I'm gonna push on it and stretch it as much as I can until I find it, follow it all the way up, right? All right, so you jumped, all right? I jumped off of it. I'm not going back. I'm on the edge of it. I located the side, and now I'm following it up. And you go nice and slow. Don't be afraid to slow down, okay? Slowing down will teach you a lot, right? If you're, afraid that you're not going to get enough done on your client, or that you have to do the whole body in 60 minutes when someone's coming in for pain, the deep tissue, like a lot of times when someone comes in for a deep tissue massage, it's because they're in pain, right? They're looking for someone that can really get into that deep tissue spot, and it's not most important to make sure that you massage and deep tissue their whole body, I think what's most important is that you spend the most effective amount of time on the spot that they feel that they want worked on, right? So don't be afraid to slow down. If you got to work on someone's upper body for an hour, that's fine. Just do that, start doing that, because then you're not trying to rush through the session and trying to get their whole body massaged, And so if you just pick one spot and just work on it, and like I said, slowing down is going to teach you a lot. It's going to allow you to see and feel things more when you slow down, You're going to be able to observe more, right?
That's my favorite part about working with you, Kev, just so you know.
What's that?
Is that you do slow down and you're not so concerned, oh, I gotta get to this and get to that. You really listen to the client.
See, there we go.
The time where they need it.
Yeah. And that's what keeps you coming back, this. I don't know if you felt that right there, but getting this to release here allowed your lower traps to release a little bit too, And see, and then too is I'll switch back and forth, going from back and forth. Because if one technique this is more compression when I'm doing this too, and this is more decompression, right? So I'm pulling away and stretching the muscles in a different way, right? And so when I push in this way, sometimes the compression works a little bit better in the moment, and sometimes the decompression works a little bit better in the moment. And I can't really pick and choose which one is going to be, the best one. I just kind of have to go through. And if the compression technique is not working, I'm not going to sit here and just do this and, mindlessly. I'm going to switch to decompression, and then I'm going to see what that does, right? And then if this muscle is not releasing for me after a while too, I'm not going to sit here and just dig in it. I will move on to the next one, right? So there we go. That's the upper trap, okay? If you guys have any questions about it, just let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to visit my channel and pay a visit. Have a great day. Bye.